A year has passed since a great search was born on the famous, or rather infamous, image board 4chan. This quest was like no other. It wasn't about fame or fortune, riches or pleasure, greed or bragging rights. No. It was like this really crappy movie about a boy and his SpongeBob having a date to each other. How romantic. But in all seriousness, no one knew what this thing was. Like, look at it. It's just so... ugh. It looks like something a mom would make and they'd be like, "Look honey, you like SpongeBob, don't you?" And the kids would be like, "Shut up mom, I'm playing COD Blops." But in all seriousness, this piece of was pretty intriguing to everyone in the same way you're intrigued right now. As you know, and if you don't know, well, the hell man, go watch our other video. Regal, the people who made this thing, wasn't exactly the most famous business on Main Street. No one knew jack about the movie, the people, everything. So everyone was like, "Durr, what now?" Some important info was found, like people, contact info, all that, but it all really started to dwindle. Leads were used up, hope was lost. It didn't help that the mods on 4chan stopped letting us talk about the movie, but it also didn't help that people lost interest. The search moved to the Lost Media Wiki discussion boards and pretty much was stagnant for a while, leaving a small burning community. But a group popped up from those embers, dedicated to its discovery. This group was key to the discovery of the biggest leads and evidence to this film's whereabouts yet, even bigger than 4chan. The same group collected as much info as fathomable on people at Regal and even called many of them, including the big man Jason Bortz, a director of many Regal films, and, more importantly, the shameless and famous, beautiful and mythical, tall and proud, always allowed, Lorenzo Hawley, the creator of Regal. With this call, we were promised a recreation of A Day with SpongeBob in all its true envisioned mediocrity. And since then, we've recently seen progress of the new film, including the first 5 pages of its script, straight from the creators themselves. The script is in a very documentary style, and seems to be accurate to the description of the movie thus far. And that's quite a leap ahead of where we were before, when it comes to seeing this thing. I mean, we hadn't even had confirmation on its existence till a few months ago. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you our script reading of the first, never-before-seen minutes of A Day with SpongeBob SquarePants. Enjoy.
Oh, that must be Andy. Now I can get ready to go to SeaWorld.
I am so excited. I can't wait to go to SeaWorld today. I am glad you finished your last show early so we could go together.
Yeah, me too, buddy. I'd hate to miss out on seeing the new Shamu. I can't wait. Let me go grab my stuff and we can be off.
SpongeBob and I have been friends since he moved here. You would think that being a big star and all that he would be a jerk, but he isn't. He is a really great guy. He is actually as nice as the character he plays. I am lucky to have him for my friend. What's wrong, buddy?
That could be me in there. I am so lucky. I have you as my best friend. I have a great job and my life is perfect.
I understand, buddy. I know I am glad you are here. I'd miss my best friend.
It's my agent. Sorry, I need to take this. I'll be just a minute.
What's wrong, buddy? You look upset.
I have to go in and see my agent tomorrow. He told me there's a problem, but he won't go into any detail until he sees me. What if they are planning to cancel the show and I have to go back? I'll miss you, buddy. I'll miss my new life.
Why don't you just wait to see what he says tomorrow? You always get worked up over the littlest things.
You're right. You're right. I'll just have to wait and see.
Just make sure you call me and let me know as soon as the meeting is over, okay?
Sure thing, buddy. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been SpongeBob's agent for almost 12 years now. I was with him when he started out. Don't tell him, but I'm kind of fond of the little yellow guy. After all, I only represent the best, and he is definitely one of the best. I don't want to see his career sink, so I've come up with a great idea to keep it afloat. Get it? Keep it afloat and not let it sink. Yeah, what could I say? I've got a million of them. Gotta keep your sense of humor in this business. Well, here it comes now. I hope he takes this okay. SpongeBob, we have a problem here. I heard that you're no longer the favorite character on your show. Can't have that. We need to do something to make you popular again.
This won't be like the time you wanted me to do the publicity wrestling stunt and I ended up needing to regrow all my arms and legs again, will it?
No, nothing like that, my boy. Just a simple little contest. No problem. You'll love it, and more importantly, the fans will love it. Imagine it, Boyle. Your name on every child's lips again. Your popularity skyrocketing. Your show becoming even more popular. I mean, think about it. Your show's been on for a while now. You need to reach out to a new audience. A lot of kids that started out with you are older and don't watch you as much. You need to get creative.
But I like my life the way it is now, Mr. B. I don't have to get too outrageous with the disguises. I can still spend time with my friends. I don't get mobbed when I try to do things. My life is almost normal. What is wrong with how things are?
Do you want all that to continue? Do you want to stay here or go back where you came from? Won't you miss your house? What about Andy? You know as well as I do that this business is crazy. You need to stay on top. To do that, I have a plan.
No, sir. I don't want to go back. I like my life and my friends here too much. I'll do what you want me to do.
Good. Here's what we're gonna do.
Now I'm sure you're thinking, great update, dude. Gonna go watch something else now. See ya! But wait!
There's more!
That's right, ladies and gentle cars, because we've got a double whammy for you. There's an audio log that we've acquired from the creator and mastermind behind the initial project itself. His name, or the name he prefers to go by for personal reasons, Mr. Orange. He is the true grandfather of it all.
So I'm just gonna clear up a few things about a day with SpongeBob SquarePants. Various people have been contacting me about, them getting emails and, just different people trying to get information about the film and what happened. And I think I ran into it on the internet. I forgot the name of the website, but I think it's Lost Media. I don't know, some type of page. And I was reading all the threads and all the comments. Some of it was kind of funny, because a lot of the stuff is like made up and people are just like speculating on a bunch of stuff that doesn't even make sense, but I get it adds mystery to it, I guess. Yeah, so Lorenzo Holly, about a few months back, I don't really remember, but he was saying like, hey man, it's getting out of hand. They're contacting me on like organics and various emails, and they're contacting different people that were hired in the past for production or some sort. And I was like, just ignore it. I mean, what's the big deal? But then it was like MVD was being like broken into, I think. I'm not even sure. Or they were like just harassing MVD and different people. It was just like a little crazy. And then they were saying that Regal was like money laundering. It wasn't a real company. And it was a prostitution ring or just a bunch of crazy stuff. And then, it's attached, to, these people have, they don't even have any knowledge really of what's going on with the actual film itself, so, that's why I'm trying to clear everything up. Regal Films actually is just a distribution company. It's just like MVD. Different people or editors or producers, they make films, low quality, low budget, and they need somebody to sell it. So Regal distributes them and they get their commission for it, and they distribute a lot of films. They were a little more involved, I guess, like on the higher end titles or like the real documentaries, but nothing where they were actually producing anything. So that's that. I mean, it's just a distribution company. MVD is the same thing. It's just, they sell DVDs. Of course, as everybody knows, the DVD business is pretty much done. I mean, some people still do buy DVDs, but for the most part, everybody's pretty much moved on. I mean, it was a long time ago. I don't know what anybody else is doing now. They probably, they might even be in distribution or the film business in general. But Lorenzo Holly actually moved on to, do the business side of Foy Foods, and then later on, Organics, which is some type of health food company, so that's what his focus is on, for the last, 3-4 years. Grand Scale Films is basically a company. It's a real film company that does, high-end production, with bigger budgets, does features and stuff like that. That's from basically people that were affiliated they used to work for Regal. They just decided to, do something more on the producing side. So they moved on to, I guess, do real films. And that's basically where Grand Scale comes from. And Regal still remains, I think, as a distributor. But the reason all those addresses pop out and there's nothing there is because my assumption is they haven't been making that much money anymore. Since DVD sales are been down, for the last, I don't know how many years. So they had to minimize and relocate and basically let go a lot of the people that were affiliated with the company that were working, because they probably couldn't afford to pay the majority of the people in the company anymore. So that clarifies that. As far as like all these different addresses and locations, like I said, they probably had to downsize, and different editors, different producers, different distributors, shipping addresses. I mean, it was basically a declining business, and the majority of people just moved on. But anyway, back to A Day with SpongeBob. So I had an idea for a film. I wanted to do something that was for kids and adults. It was funny, but at the same time had some heartfelt moments and somewhat of a message, kind of like the movies I used to watch growing up, like a John Hughes film of some sort. And, I was developing different ideas and reaching out to different producers, since they, were doing all these other documentaries, and I wanted to do something that was more like a mockumentary, something that was funny, kind of like a Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm style, but, with SpongeBob, because, I'm a SpongeBob fan, not a hardcore fan, but I definitely like the cartoon, and I always thought it was funny, like, what if he had a real life, like, outside of the cartoon world, or animation world. And I thought it was kind of a cool idea. Now, I got approved for a certain amount of money to get the film done. It wasn't a lot, so it was kind of difficult. And I didn't want to hire anybody that just, could just shoot it and, make some type of low quality film. So I actually reached out to Jonathan, which if you check, he directed something really good, a short film involving, a kid and music, and I thought it was very unique, and I felt, wow, the way he shot it, this film could definitely be something cool, especially with his eye. So after many discussions about the film and the way I envisioned it, we kept going back and forth, and he was saying that it's going to cost way more than the budget provided with the vision that I had for the film in the beginning. I mean, by this time when I reached out to look for directors, I already developed a script with, I hired a writer and gave the rundown about the whole movie and kept developing the script. I got to look back and see how many pages it was. I do have a copy of the script. So from having the script and reaching out to different producers, saying I'm going to need additional money. I'm going to need this amount of money. And they were basically like, no, we can't do it. But let me start even earlier, before we even get to the production and the script. So when I had the idea, the first thing, people were advising me, oh, you're going to get sued. You're going to get a cease and desist. It's a major, major copyright infringement, all sorts of stuff. So I retained a lawyer to find out, which dealt with different musical, likeness claims and stuff like that, just to be on the safe side. Like, listen, how can I put this film out without getting into any trouble? Now, mind you, this is before I think even the SpongeBob movie even came out. So I didn't want to deal with making the movie, or if it did become successful or had some type of success, and then, I get sued, or the people involved get sued, and then, it's like a whole waste of time, which discouraged a lot of people. So a lot of the producers were like, we'll just give you this amount of money anyway, and, figure it out. So I called a lawyer, and then I retained, their services, and they told me, okay, you can't use anything. It has to somewhat be of a parody. That way you don't get sued. You can't use him. I think the drawing of him, you could use a suit. It has to be somewhat where you're making fun of him, and if it's live action, even better, and state on the the actual artwork that it's unauthorized, which is stuff that I already kind of knew. So then I was trying to make a cover that would let people know it was a day with SpongeBob, but without using SpongeBob. So the most recognizable thing that I could remember was the Pineapple House. So I went on Elance and I hired a great illustrator, drawer, forgot his name, and I told him that I wanted to basically make the same house, same feel, same exact thing as the SpongeBob theme animation, but make it square, just make little changes here and there just for different purposes. So he did that. He sent me a few sketches. I thought it was great. And then he colored it in, which was amazing. I think he did a great job. And then the problem is we didn't do casting, we didn't do anything. Like, we're in the process of just getting, the script was done, it had to be redeveloped, and we needed some money to get the film going. So we didn't have any characters, so I had to somewhat use. So then I went to Shutterstock and I found that image. It looked cool, so I put it on there just for temporary. Mind you, I was making this cover to show producers and distributors that that this could potentially be something. So I had to basically convince them just with the cover. People loved the cover after it was done. The quotes and everything that's on there, like I said, this was just supposed to be for distributors and producers' eyes only. This wasn't supposed to be for everybody. One of the distributors, especially Regal, they said, well, listen, we're not going to give you any money for the production itself, but we'll see if we get any pre-orders or any interest. So I guess that's where people even heard about it, as far as it being on Amazon and getting pre-orders. The interest was there, but the film wasn't even, completed. We worked on a couple of trailers. I mean, I would have to find but it wasn't like what we actually were supposed to film. It was just like teasers and covers and stuff just to get people, kind of like a presentation to get people interested in the film and believe in it. But I think even with the lawyer and everything like that, people were like, we're not going to dump that much money into this project because, it could be a cease and desist, could be a lawsuit, it's Viacom. They could easily shut you down and that's it. I mean, that's the end of your career. So after hearing all of that, I wasn't discouraged to get the film done. I just knew I couldn't do it with the original producers because it wasn't enough money. So I knew I had to put it in the back burner. I knew it was a good idea. So I was just gonna, put it to the side, save up some money, and possibly ask, friends and family and try to figure out how to get the money to get it the way I wanted to get it out there. And that pretty much is the honest truth about what happened with the film. It's not easy to make films. I mean, I don't know if you know your history about films. But some films take 5 years, some films takes a while, basically securing financing and keeping people together and, doing things the right way. I think it was SuperSonic. I think that's his name. It was on a clip. He was saying, they could have just put the film out, because the majority of their titles they were distributing were low quality and they should have just put it out and see what it did. I think it was something like that. But like I was saying before, this wasn't a Regal release or MVD release. This was a completely different project. It was more or less, them, trying to help me out, get the film and the word out and see if there was any interest. This wasn't supposed to be a low budget quality. It's not like their music documentaries. This was actually supposed to be an actual film, a live action film. And we were developing different things like teasers and stuff like that to get the film done. MVD is incorrect. Actually, there are no promo copies. I never sent them anything. A couple of people have seen different things, but there's nothing that anybody has. So if you're looking for anything that has anything to do with a day with SpongeBob, it doesn't exist. Most of the materials are in my possession. So that's pretty much that. So fast forwarding to today, between all the emails and phone calls about people getting harassed about the film, it's kind of like a sign, I guess, to push forward with the film, get it done rather than, just keep waiting for the right moment. The initial plan was for me to invest my own money, so I'm going to continue to do that. I am actually going to invest my own money into the film. And, I've been hearing positive feedback about the whole crowdfunding thing, which is something I mentioned to Lorenzo Holly about that. That's something that I wanted to do because he was asking me, about the update about the film. And I was telling him, like, yeah, if there's really genuinely interest in the film and they really want to help me get the film done, then so be it. We'll try the crowdfund. Even if we don't hit the number that, could potentially get the film the way I want it to get done, it doesn't matter. I'll still figure out how to get the rest of the money to get it done. I'm not trying to rush this project. Like I said, I'm not just going to put anything together just because it has some type of interest right now and, just, slaps a few scenes together, get like a 60-minute film just to, make money. No, I want to do something that's somewhat funny. I mean, it's not going to be like an Oscar nominated movie, but definitely something that would be fun to watch, for kids and adults. So that's basically the status of the film, and that's where we're at now. I'll be sending this. I mean, this is an audio recording. I'll be sending it to, I guess, I don't know who, in particular, whoever has been reaching out to Lorenzo Holly. And, I'll probably submit some of the pages of the script. I guess whatever it is I have. And I guess we'll keep in contact. The reason I'm not revealing my identity or anything of that sorts or my step-by-step movement as far as with the films, like I said, some people have been harassed. They're putting up, like, they're recording conversations and uploading them, which to me was a little low blow, especially with Lorenzo Holly. He's a good guy, and he was just really trying to help get the film out there and helping me develop the film, and reaching out and actually speaking to the people. And then, next thing you know, it's like all over the internet, and, it's like still unclear. Like somehow it still seems like the questions weren't being answered. So I'm going to leave my identity anonymous for now. And, because, nobody likes to be harassed or, I mean, some of the stuff was kind of funny. Like I read a lot of stuff that was just kind of hilarious, like the speculations. And I was even talking to like other directors, and they were suggesting even making a documentary about the process of even making this film, because it's somehow gotten bigger than what the actual film is, which is something to consider. I mean, I will consider it, or maybe add it to the actual film, because it's kind of cool that, it somehow became a lost media, fascination with people, and people want to see it and wanted to know more about it and the people behind it. And, we're like harassing people and investigating and uploading different things, which is kind of cool, I guess. But me personally, I'd rather just stay, behind the scenes and develop the film and keep people posted that are interested in it. And we'll see. I was supposed to do a crowdfund in June, but that's going to be delayed. It's probably going to be September, because I do have other projects I have to get done. So once I make enough money off my other projects, and I finish developing the script and attach a new director, do the casting for Seth, and figure out what we need to do, and figure out the exact number that's going to be needed to get my idea done the right way. I figure I'll give myself enough time, maybe September, October, but I will keep people posted on the link. That's if people were still interested, because at this point, it almost seems like people really don't care about the actual film, which is hilarious to me. People care about just, finding out what happened about it. But for the people that are interested in the film and how I'm going to market it and promote it, if you guys want to help, that's great. But aside from that, yeah, I'm working on the film, and I'll keep you guys posted, and that's about it. So if you have any questions, just email, and I think I've answered everything, the whole story about the film itself. Like I said, Regal's a distribution company, MVDs are a distribution company, Grand Scales is a production company, actually a big company, and Yeah Organics is a food company. So that's what Lorenzo Holly does. And there is no prostitution ring, there is no money laundering or some type of Illuminati or conspiracy or anything like that. We weren't hiding or running away from Viacom. If anything, I was already direct by retaining a lawyer, like I said before, and she pretty much said that I'm allowed to do it since it is somewhat of a parody and there should be no legal issues. So hopefully there isn't any legal issues since I'm investing my own money into it. So, let's be hopeful. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for everybody that actually took the time to listen. And check it out, Day with SpongeBob. Also, you can email me if you have any concepts or ideas about the film, or just anything in general. You can always email me. Okay.
The box art we have was to spice up investors' expectations of the film in hope of getting funding for its creation. The guy seems to have some real, actual enthusiasm for his creation and wants to make it if there's demand, which, yeah, I'd say there's some demand. All in all, we've learned a lot in our past year. We've had our golden ages and dry patches, but now it's looking a lot like Christmas. We're definitely going to see this thing, and it's either going to suck hard or it's going to be the best freaking thing in the world. And no matter what, we will love it either way. And don't forget to check out our friend Bedhead Bernie's new A Day with SpongeBob video for an update on Regal's president, Lorenzo Holly, clearing up the myths and theories on Regal, and giving an overall answer to our burning questions. This is LSuperSonicQ, signing off, solving another ongoing mystery. Ha, cheesy.